Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Oh, isn't it lovely to be alive when the sun's shining? I was in Norwich yesterday morning. I got up very early and I heard bird songs, something I don't hear in my flat. I tend to hear police sirens and the occasional gunfire. And it was like watching an episode of Duty Free. I sort of remembered what birdsong was like, but it still had an eerie strangeness about it. But lovely. If you want to text us about anything, not necessarily birdsong, but you can text us on 8 12 15. Just whatever you like. You know, you're in charge.
We have had a text in, Frank, about Bev Bevan.
Oh, Bev Bevan.
Well, don't say it like everyone knows who it is, because I don't, for starters.
No, nor do I.
This is from Dean, from Beeham, which I think is Birmingham.
Yes.
It's Birmingham's
How
code
do you
for
do it,
Birmingham.
Holmes?
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, folks. On Thursday, Bev Bevan gets inducted into the Beeham Walk of Stars. Does Frank agree that is the country's...
It could be the boiled ham Walk of Stars.
Well, exactly.
I think Bev Bevan, I think he invented that stuff that's got the sort of breadcrumb rim on the fat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does Frank agree that as the country's second city, we're struggling to find worthy recipients for the honour? He does acknowledge that you and Ozzy are legends.
Oh, legend.
Yeah. What do you think about
I
this?
sort of get a lot of that. People going, legend! I'm often mistaken for Beowulf. You see, that's where it comes from.
That.
Yeah.
Who is Bev Bevan?
Bev Bevan played drums for The Move and then the Electric Light Orchestra.
Okay.
Can you
Wow.
Can you sound a bit more impressed? No, The Move.
There's just a
obviously,
lot of things I hadn't heard of in that
They
sentence.
were a seminal. Can I say seminal actually this time?
Yes.
Oh, in this context, apparently yes. I mean, there's quite a lot of footnotes on when you can and can't in the Absolute Manual. Absolute Manual would be a great new station, wouldn't it? Where you had to operate it all yourself with handles on the radio. I'd like it better, personally. Well, I suppose I do that, but, you know, I'm in for everyone. So The Move, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sitting watching flowers in the rain, and then Electric Light Orchestra.
Sitting watching flowers in the rain? What is this? I don't know The Move, Frank.
Oh, okay.
We're going to get loads of texts about The Move now.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so I think, you know, Bev Bevan, it's Brum Rock and all that was a very important thing. I'm happy with Bev Bevan. I wasn't very happy with the bloke from the Archers getting it, because the Archers is not Birmingham, is it?
No.
No, wasn't it just the concept of the Archers that won as well, just the whole Archers?
The concept, yeah. I don't think concepts should be getting their own paving stones. And what next? What's going to be? There's going to be uncertainty is going to be on the Birmingham Walk of Fame. That'd be all right, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be good.
I think the home of uncertainty is what it should say as you drive into Birmingham on the motorway. Everyone should. Every city should have an emotion of some kind. Is uncertainty an emotion, though? Well, that's this morning's phoning, guys. And I look forward to your responses. What else?
It's also the home of Flair's nightclub, lest we forget, can I just say?
Flair's nightclub, though, is sort of ironic. And also, that was one of the few cases of the Birmingham... in case you know, the Birmingham Walk of Fame is like stars on the pavement, like what you see in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Outside, is it Grome's Chinese Theatre?
Oh, very good. You're so well-travelled.
Yes. And it's very near the shop where I looked at that Madonna's sex book with the photos on a chain, which I think I've told you about before on this show.
A Larry Grayson type.
You
glasses chain.
paid $1. Yeah, it was on a lanyard. Sex book on a lanyard, I know, it's Hollywood, was what I sang that day.
Not so much Chinese theatre in Broad Street, more Chinese buffet.
Yeah,
though, isn't it?
But what they have done is Noddy Holder's star on the Birmingham Walk of Fame is one of the few that's, in fact, the only one I think that's strategically placed, because they put it outside Flair's nightclub, which is a 70s base, so it all fits neatly.
But you're outside a bar.
I'm outside a bar, which I...
No offence.
A bar which is closed, which sort of works.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Yeah, a bar that has run dry. Okay, yeah. So, if you're in Birmingham, when is it being inaugurated?
Oh, he's not. There are no dates on here. Don't expect Bev Bevan dates.
We're still in the
Frank,
early
I'm
stages.
sorry. He has told us it's Thursday.
So if you're in Birmingham on Thursday, Bev Bevan, I imagine, will turn up. And what else is he going to be doing? What's he going to be getting a symbol, getting the split in a symbol welded shot?
Now he runs a removals agency, so the move has come back.
We can't top that.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
That was Viva La Vida by Ricky Martin, isn't it?
Not Ricky Martin.
What was that Spice Girls song called that was sounded a bit like that?
Viva Forever.
Ah, yes.
I know all the Vivas.
Was that the one that went, ay, 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 ay?
No. That was Spice Up Your Life.
Oh, okay. I saw there was a bit about Jerry Halliwell was in the tabloids this morning saying 2011 was her best year so far.
Oh.
I think she needs to recheck her records on that one. Try looking around 96, 97. I think you might have a bit of a shocking
She
story.
said it was her best year since records began. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh,
interesting.
there's a bit of a pun going on there. A bit punny for me.
Yeah.
Records have died out, really.
I can see.
Frank, we've had a text from Gavin Offer Wolverhampton.
Okay.
He signs it Offer Wolverhampton.
Hoffer.
No, Offer.
Oh,
Gavin
Offer, as
Offer
in-
Wolverhampton.
Is he? He's not Offer's Dyke, is he? No, okay.
No, it's like off of Big Brother.
Oh,
or
I
off
see.
Of, you know.
I see.
Hey, Frank, Gareth, and that posh bird. Oh, I
He's
quite
from
like.
Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
Remember. Probably refers to Kerry Katona as that posh bird.
I was at Trenton Monkey Forest yesterday. Whilst we
That'll
were-
do me. I don't need any more from that. Trenton Monkey Forest, how marvellous. I'm imagining battles between apes and Sylvanian families to the death while you sit in trees watching.
Whilst we were there, we gave one of the monkeys the nickname Frank because it bared a shocking resemblance to you. Oh, shocking. That sounds worrying.
Hold it. What I'm worried about is how many monkeys are there at Trenton Monkey Forest that you can name them?
Well, exactly.
I imagine there'd be hordes.
Yeah. Maybe it could be your animal doppelganger. Everybody has a doppelganger somewhere, although not normally of the animal kingdom. That's from Gavin.
Well, Gavin says that, but I think it's quite possible, isn't it, that we do all have a doppelganger in the animal kingdom that we'll never meet.
How do you think so?
Yeah, I mean, there could be a lemur now eating a bit of knot that looks exactly like you, Emily. You know what I'm saying?
Could well be, yeah.
I don't mean exactly like you, but I mean obviously with more facial hair. But
Frank!
oh, well, that's a nice thing. If I'd said
Okay.
less facial hair, that would have been unkind in the extreme.
Okay.
And not true.
We've had a text from 131. Is uncertainty an emotion? I feel like I'm not sure.
Oh.
That's our big quest this morning, to try and find out if uncertainty is an emotion.
Mm.
I don't think it is it? It isn't.
No.
It's a state of mind.
It's a
State of mind.
Yeah. Frank, Amanda... Can Frank remember the song
Amanda.
When Father Painted the Parlour? If so, can he sing a few lines?
Isn't it
Cheers.
papered, the parlour?
Well, she's got painted.
I believe it goes, when Father papered the parlour, you couldn't see him for paste. Dabbing it here, dabbing it there, paste everywhere. Mother was stuck to the ceiling, the kids were stuck to the floor. I've never seen such a blooming family so stuck up before. I think that's how it went. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
That's lost, I would say, probably 100,000
Yeah.
listeners. Just that tiny moment.
I love the sound of the stuck-up family, though. They sound very up my
well,
stars.
you would too, exactly. It's always nice to be able to identify with a record of some kind. Yeah, I don't know how I know that lyric.
It's brilliant.
I don't know where the song came from. It sounds musical, doesn't it?
Not very much so.
It does. And I
But
think
yeah.
you were right about paint.
It is papered.
Papered sounds like.
Because the paste element, it's a
Wouldn't
giveaway.
make any sense.
Okay.
No, it's very good. So speaking of Birmingham, Britain's Got Talent was in Birmingham this week.
Hey, let's save that because that was exciting.
Orange hoodie.
This is Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
So, Britain's Got Talent, you were saying?
Oh, yeah. Well, Gareth, you raised it.
Yes, it was. It started off. Well, the big announcement for the start was that for the first time ever, it started off in Liverpool,
Yeah.
which was exciting.
Yeah.
Anton Deck arrived in a hot air balloon.
Yeah, copiers.
Yeah.
I did that
yeah.
recently.
God, it's all been done, that. And I never heard one
Yeah,
in the whole thing.
exactly.
Maybe they don't drink coffee.
I did really love it, actually. I like the new panel. We like Michael, but then he's friend of the show, really. Because
He's never been on the show, has he?
No.
I've never met him.
He's friend of
I have met him,
friend of the
actually,
people on the show.
Yes.
That's what he is. Yeah. But Hasselhoff and the jacket. Why has the Hoff got that strange Union Jack leather jacket?
Well, there was what I like about Britain's Got Talent is you get obviously there's 3 or 4 different shows that happen there in the early stages, all put into one TV show. So their hair was quite. I think I don't have any inside information. I think a makeup woman might have been dismissed because the first show everyone had got the highest hair. I've never seen Michael McIntyre's hair that high, and the Hoffs was extreme and. I mean, Amanda, I'm thinking that the makeup woman arrived and said that I've got this new gel I want to try. Now, it says contains helium. But, I mean, let's just give it a go and we'll see how... And then the next bit, obviously their hair had settled down.
It calmed down a bit.
Although she'd gone into a sort of Billy Idol...
Yeah.
Thin.
There are a lot of changes going on. So, Frank, what do we think of the actual talent?
Well, I always think that's the least important part. No, I did. I like... I'll tell you what's happening now, I think, and I think this is post-Susan Boyle, this is my opinion, that if you could probably work out who's going to win, if you had a sort of a slide rule, a cosmic slide rule, that could measure the difference between appearance and talent, the gap. Yeah. Because the worse you look on one side and the most talented you are, you want someone who looks... basically like they should be in a home, who then is absolutely brilliant. That now...
Orange Hoodie.
Well, that's it, isn't it?
He's not brilliant, though. Can we just talk about Orange Hoodie?
No, but I'm right, isn't it? Susan Boyle has set a precedent. It's not... You can't go on and look good. You've got to look terrible and be really good. That's the dream.
That's the dream.
Ticket.
Exactly. You've got to be good. You can't just put the citrus hoodie on and have a Caesar crop and look a bit weird... and sing really badly. That doesn't work. He couldn't sing. It was terrible, that guy.
Can I say I had a very tense... I hope I'm not speaking out of turn. I had a very tense moment with the Orange Hoodie.
Did you? Why?
Well, I just to up the ante on watching the first Britain's Got Talent, the first one's exciting enough. I watched it with Michael McIntyre.
Wow.
So obviously, I thought you better be funny. So I don't know if I can carry off a happily. He was brilliant on it, I thought. But and I'm not just saying that. I thought he was great. But there's a bit where that bloke came on, and you know that Amanda Holden said the bloke had got tracksuit bottoms and an orange hoodie, and Amanda Holden said he looks like he's going on a long haul flight. And then Michael McIntyre said, yeah, EasyJet. Yeah. Right. Now, what do you make of that?
I assume because it was orange.
Gareth?
Orange oval.
You see, I thought he meant, not only is he on a long-haul flight, but it's obviously going to be very cheap travel because he looks incredibly down at heel and impoverished.
There's that as well. No, yes,
and I said, it's good that bit because it's like the Susan Boyle thing. You want to make him seem like you're all treating him with, you all think, this bloke is, he looks like he's at the very lowest end of the food chain, and then he's going to startle us with his guitar and voice. And he said, no. He said, I said that because he got an orange top on.
Yeah.
EasyJet. I said, I thought you meant he was, he was so squalid in appearance he couldn't fly on a normal... And he went, no, I don't want... He said, what people are going to think, that I've said a horrible thing. And then I felt I spoilt his evening. And it was
right
because you two obviously I'm the exception.
You're the exception.
You all thought EasyJet orange.
I assumed EasyJet.
Yeah, I thought EasyJet low life.
Yeah, no, I think there is the low life element, but I think Michael shouldn't worry because I do think that makes it funnier.
Well, I'm sure EasyJet will be delighted with that. Can we talk about Antonio Popeye? Because I have to say, I rather loved him.
This is the man who is able to make his eyes sort of come out of his head.
Yeah. So I can see clearly now.
David Hasselhoff got all theological about it and said that God had meant him to be there. He'd given him a gift and everything was in place in the world.
Yeah. It was an interesting... I reckon with a strategically placed cattle prod, I could have done his act.
I think if I was surprised enough.
Yeah, you'd have to... But he keeps being...
If I had enough surgery as well...
I thought he could have done more with it. He could have... what I'd like him to have done is switch sockets. He could, if he'd have done that with a twirl of the head and the left eye into the... So you could see like a sort of a cross. If you can imagine, like, a cross of sort of entrails, nerves and various things across the bridge of his nose. Like he was wearing a pair of spectacles, sort of eye-made spectacles. And then the eyes went into that, blink, maybe looked at each other and then swung back. But maybe, you know, you have to hold some about for the second appearance.
Yeah.
That's
You know
what
when you say...
That's what Lindsay Lohan said to the judge, apparently.
You know when people say our eyes met across a crowded room? Well, he could actually do
Yeah, I'd love to see his eyes met across a crowded face. And it was a fairly crowded face. There was all sorts going on, I thought. Orange Top...
Did you like Orange Top?
Yeah, I
alright,
thought, yeah.
No,
He could play
Frank, you're being
guitar
fooled
as well.
by the orange top and the weird hair and the cheap jeans. Honestly,
Well, they weren't even cheap jeans, they were tracksuit bottoms.
Oh, tracksuit
He was
bottoms,
like a
you're
man
right.
who wasn't allowed to have any sharp
Yeah.
stuff. Not even zips.
We need to talk about the comic as well in a minute.
Oh, no, I like the comic, The Small Child. He was good. We need to talk about other stuff. We
Okay,
haven't asked any...
okay.
No one's calling in. I feel trapped and isolated from the world, like I'm in some sort of compression chamber. What about that? Do you want me to have that in my life?
Frank on radio. Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
That was Cage the Elephant around my head. Do you think they ever caged the elephant at Trent and Monkey Forest? Is it Trent? Anyway. You can text us on 81215 if there's anything you want to say.
Yes, 587 has said, I thought EasyJet Low Life 2, Frank, so he thought that was what the joke was.
Oh, well, you see. It was a double.
Works on both levels. I
It
think.
does, yeah, but I think, Well, obviously one is a bit crueler.
Frank, 131. Shouldn't the guy with the bulging eyes be on Pop Idol?
Very good joke.
Why don't people give their names?
Do you know what I like
It's
it about
Michael McIntyre.
Frank, can I tell you what I like about comics? The way comics go, very good joke. Quite an angry way. I've noticed they do that.
Oh, no.
Gareth just said that. Yeah, very
that-
good joke.
That's
No,
funny.
I love comedy in all its manifestations. So no, I would never say that. I could tell you some people that in this business wouldn't laugh at someone else's joke to save their life. You know what I'm talking about? Anyway. So I went and saw Limitless, the movie.
Did you?
Are you aware of it?
I'm vaguely aware
The
of
whole theory. It was. I don't know if I might have mentioned this before, but my girlfriend's sister is living with us at the moment, and we have what we call the cinema club. Me and Rachel, because my girlfriend's not a big fan of the cinema. She, in fact, since she saw Black Swan, she said she'd never go to the cinema ever again. So that's caused a slight problem with our cinema going. So I go with Rachel, my girlfriend's sister, and we went to see... we have our cinema club, and this week it was Limitless, and it's about the idea, which I hadn't heard before, that apparently we can only access 20% of our brains.
Urban myth, love.
You can't reach the back bit at all. Is it an urban myth, is
I
it?
think so, yeah.
Oh, well,
I've
anyway.
got confirmation coming through, but anyway.
Your confirmation coming through. Oh,
I've got a scientist on the line.
Imagine you feeding ticker tape between your index finger and thumb at the side of a 1960s machine. Anyway, I like the film, and it struck me that this bloke, he kind of suddenly could remember everything that had ever happened, and everything ever read and learnt, which would be brilliant. But then there's loads of stuff. For example, the lyrics to Father Papered the Parlour are not something I use practically very often. No. The fact that they were in... I started the song, and they kept coming, the lyrics. I didn't know I knew them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So,
Well, no, there's been a theory in the paper this week, hasn't there, that as you get older, your memory gets worse, not because you're getting slower, just because there's more stuff in your brain.
that's why people say, oh, I can remember stuff that happened to me at school, but I can't remember what happened yesterday. They're all full up, all their shelf space
Which is true.
has been taken.
Your server gets full.
For example, I can remember my mum's co-op divvy number. 386314.
Divvy number?
Yeah.
I was given a divvy number at school, but it was a different sort of divvy.
Yeah. Well, I imagine yours was number one, wasn't it? No, there used to be a thing called the co-op dividend stamps. They might still exist, I don't know. I'd feel guilty about claiming them now. But if anything you bought from the co-op, you used to get stamps.
Oh, I remember my grandma had... You put them in a little booklet. Yes, I know.
That's it, then you could get stuff with them. Not dissimilar to the welcome gifts that Michael Parkinson offers to old age pensioners on daytime television.
Yeah.
Anyway, the milkman was the co-op milkman, so when he came, if my mum was out, he'd say, "What's your divvy number?" I'd say 386314, and he'd give me the amount of stamps. You didn't get many stamps for a pint of milk. I think you might have got one stamp. You could buy a television from the co-op. That was quite a lot of stamps.
Yeah.
Mrs. Faraday down the road, when they
I bet that was good quality.
when they buried her husband, she had the funeral was done by the co-op. She got a lot. She bought a radio cassette player on the stamps from that funeral. Hey, from darkness riseth light. Yeah, so I still remember my mum's divvy number. I don't need that. I can't get rid of it.
No. I recently played a computer game online that I used to have when I was a kid, and discovered
slow week, was it?
discovered I could remember whole levels. It was the one where you explore. It's first person, and you go around and
What's it
shoot
called?
zombies. Doom. And I could remember whole levels in my head, like it was, a place I'd visited and gone, "Oh yeah, I've been here before. I'm not going to need that."
I
You see, I've got the co-op divvy number, but when a policeman asked me my licence plate number the other week, I couldn't. I actually said, "Can you give me the first letter?" Well, they won't. It's not like a quiz. Apparently.
I don't know my home phone number.
No,
Well,
but that doesn't surprise me, in fairness.
No.
But
Do you know where your
how
home
do I
is?
know, Frank?
I imagine you leave Bournemouth with a long expanse of cotton, which you then use to get back home.
Do you know what I find depressing? I can't remember my credit card PIN number, but I know that the executive producer of Dallas was Philip Capiz because I watched it so often.
Well, I can remember that the producer of Tom and Jerry was Fred Quimby. That's now good to me.
In the twirly writing.
Why do I know-
very heavy on the cue. Flamboyant on the cue of Quimby.
I hate that I know Paul Coyer's name.
Yeah.
I hate that he's in there somewhere rustling around.
I hate that he ever existed. In many ways. I know the sheriff from Bonanza, Roy Coffey. And the manservant. Can you still have a manservant? Hop Singh.
I can.
Remember Hop Singh?
Oh.
Hop Singh, I believe his name was taken from two of the items on his specialist skills on his CV. He was nearly called horse riding conversational French. Well, it wouldn't have worked for a Chinese manservant.
Hey, don't you think, Frank, as well, you always remember the register. So you remember all these names of kids because it was read out every day. So it's just that thing of repetitive learning. So like Cornelius Wright, Jasper Thornton, all these people I went to school with.
Did you go to the Hogwarts? Cornelius Wright and Jasper Thornton.
I can't help it. That's who I went to school with.
Oh, God, I can see them now queuing at the tuck shop with Billy Bonter just coming down the corridor. Billy Bonter, I think, has obviously been driven out by political correctness. I never liked him anyway, the fat git. Anyway, what about that for the texting? What information do you have which is no longer necessary?
Like it.
But then all that information is going to come in and be in our heads, and it's going to push out some important stuff.
Well,
It's okay, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's still... I don't know how you do it. There must be a way of unloading the old stuff. But then again, do I really want to let it go? I'd miss Hop Sing if he went from my consciousness.
We only have this extra.
This is Frank Skinner
Absolute.
Radio.
Frank, we've had some texts in about useless information that people can still remember. Hi, Frank, Emily and Gareth. I can remember that Elvis's army serial number is 53310761. But yesterday I completely forgot my 4-digit credit card number.
Well,
I did have a great day pavement racing in the sun, though, from Russell.
I think the sun has taken the edge off of the pavement racing.
Do you? Why?
Well, I don't want to get too stinky. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know what you mean, Frank.
Anyway.
Hi, Frank. I can remember my mum's car's my friend's mum's car's registration. It was
He can remember that. You can't even read it from a text.
It was C250DYF.
Are we allowed to say it? She could be traced now, that woman. If that car still exists.
What would they say if they found her?
I don't know, but I think there is a company that will buy that car, or any other car, if I remember rightly.
Really?
It rings a bell, just the concept of people buying any car.
It's a Volvo estate in silver.
Is it?
Yes. His name is Robert. His is Ian.
Giving me a lot
His
of
mate's
information.
Yeah, a lot of information, yeah. No, that's in my mind, and I won't be able to forget. Actually, no, I've forgotten it already. See,
But you still remember Cornelius Wright and Jasper Thornton. You won't forget
well,
them.
I remember the sense of them.
Hi, Frank, Emily and the G. I don't know if I like the G.
The G.
He's very G, though.
It's a bit Return of the Mac.
I am
the
a
G.
G.
Return of the Mac, I'd say, will be about September for me. At the moment, I'm okay with the denim jacket.
Having worked at Morrison's on the checkouts throughout my college years, I can still remember all the quick codes that were typed in for fruit and veg. Can't remember some of my current colleagues' names, but I can remember those codes. Prisoner 255, Jack Redditch.
Fabulous. I had, just little things in life that can really spoil your day. I had milk the other day. I had a carton of milk, and I have great faith in the written word. And according to this milk carton, the use-by date was the next day. So I thought it's got to be all right. It was on the turn, I believe is the phrase. But I must have had about 4 cups of tea. I would not buy more milk. I just didn't want to go out for a pint of milk. And also, it was in date. And every tea had a sort of a yoghurty, cheesy.
There weren't bits, were there?
And there weren't bits. Now, I draw the line at bits.
Oh,
then
so do I. I always draw the line at bits.
I'll walk. I'm in the spa on bits. When I say the spa, that's with an R before anyone gets confused.
However, I'm in the actual spa.
Well, you're in the actual spa, I realise that. But, no, it really... and I stopped with it, rather than going out and get a pint of milk.
Oh,
I stopped
Frank,
with
you
it.
let
And
yourself down.
It was as if the sourness permeated my very being. And isn't it odd how one little thing like that can really spoil your day? Like for example, now sunglasses are obviously de rigueur, and I find that I have the glasses. I go out in the sunglasses because it's sunny.
Yeah.
So I don't take the case with me because I don't want to bulk out a denim jacket pocket. There's very little pocketage anyway in a denim jacket. The one I've got has no breast pocket on the left as a fashion statement.
Well, it has sort of a dark patch where a breast pocket could be.
Could be, but has never been.
Oh, wow.
It's a sham. So, of course, when I'm going home and it's dark, I can't be wearing the sunglasses. I have to hang them somewhere on me.
Oh, God.
Because you can't put them in a
God.
pocket. Yeah.
Oh.
Sometimes, no.
That doesn't always work.
No, that's where I put my trilby. So I'll do that thing of putting one stem in a pocket sometimes of the shades and having and I don't like that. What I've taken to doing in recent years is on the neck of my t-shirt.
You haven't gone lanyard?
No. On the neck of my t-shirt, I'll hang them there out the front of my t-shirt. And I've noticed now, this one's not too bad, but now my t-shirts have started to get a small lip at the front where the sunglasses hang. I look like my head's emerging from a large milk jug. So I've ruined the collars on quite a few.
Oh, no.
Just those little...
I know those little things.
Once I notice that on a t-shirt, that's my day gone.
I have a similar beverage issue, Frank.
Wouldn't it be lovely, though, on a hot weather like this, if you could lean forward and the sweat could run out the lip of that, like you were a human jog?
Be lovely. How dare you? I have a similar beverage issue, which is when I have a cup of tea, and maybe I haven't made it myself. I'm just saying sometimes in life, tea gets made for me. Deal with it.
Yeah.
And when there's a little bit too much milk, and it's like a warm brown milkshake. That's not what tea should be.
No.
That's not, I can't bear that, and it actually ruins my day. And I go off the person as well.
I'm enjoying the brackets.
So any interns in Star Magazine, just there's
ruins
a little...
my day, full stop, brackets, and I go off the person as well.
And ruins their career.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Fluorescent adolescent Arctic monkeys. I wonder if there's any of those in Trenton Monkey Forest. I should think not. They wouldn't be able to cope with the sudden change in temperature, would they? I imagine they'd split, and I hate that. You know, sometimes when you see a monkey that's been taken from one severe temperature to another, they go under the armpits.
We've had a nice text from James Knight. Says, "Love you, Frank, from unemployed electrician Didsbury."
Oh,
I like that. I like that. That's his full title, unemployed electrician Didsbury. You said
well,
it
I mean,
one.
it makes sense because I think they recently abolished the death sentence in Didsbury. So
is it?
I'm
That'll
guessing
be-
he was the
yeah.
chair
Chair
engineer.
Chairman of the company.
Yeah, he was the chair expert. So
Frank, we were talking about kind of useless information you still retain. James in Tooting says, "Morning, Mr. Skinner and friends. A number I cannot get out of my head."
one thing you can't remember is your names.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
pointed
friends,
out.
if you don't mind me saying, he's pushing it.
Yeah. Frank.
Well, I think we've moved now to a
Showbiz-
professional status.
Showbiz friends, maybe.
Well,
Go on.
I don't really have any.
And not-
Oh, well, I have
You,
four.
you just said you were watching Britain's Got Talent with Michael McIntyre.
Yes, but I was a
Don't
hostage.
Try and be man of the people.
He hates his guts. We know. Doesn't really.
Morning, Mr. Skinner and friends. A number I cannot get out of my head is Victor Meldrew's phone number from One Foot in the Grave. Whenever he answers the phone, he says 4291. I cannot wait for it to be an answer in a quiz.
I actually don't believe that.
Don't you?
It was a Victor Meldrew.
Oh.
I have fantasised about questions. I tell you what, I've gone. One of my recurring fantasies. This is pathetic, but me and David Baddiel was once on a Celebrity Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah.
I presume a rhetorical question under the circumstances, and we
You did very well, actually.
We got to £500,000, and the question was, what is the national flower of Japan? And I said, it was one of those, we talked about it, and I said, well, if I had to guess, I'd say chrysanthemum. I said, but, I'm just thinking about the charity, thinking about those children, what people always say. And it was chrysanthemum, but we didn't take it. And I always imagine, I've had this fantasy 100,000 times. No, 18 times.
Yeah.
So I keep a very, very distinct journal. I always at the week I go for chrysanthemum, we win, and then the final question is always in my fantasy: what county did W.G. Grace play cricket for? And I know it. Why I've arrived at that, I don't know. But it was just have been the sad. And I always think, would I come straight out with it? Would I pretend I was unsure just to build up the tension? I can see David Baddiel covered in silver glitter in my fantasy.
Oh, dear.
Not for the first time.
Frank M and Gareth, is the waistband behind Frank an homage to an orange hoodie as it's wearing one?
Yeah, that's a recycling bag. Maybe that's what that man was wearing.
The thing is, that bin can sing beautifully. I think it could do really very well.
Well, I like that man. I thought he was good.
I don't like how they set up the fact that he was a little bit chubby by showing him and his girlfriend eating muffins, and
Yes.
that they proposed in an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet.
Well, his girlfriend ate all food the way I only eat popcorn in a cinema. When I eat popcorn in a cinema, I am like the Chinese cat. The Chinese waving cat. It's just the arm going up and down, that's all it is. And I don't stop until I've reached the bottom. I think I always have that slight tension if I'm with a male friend, that they'll do that grotesque thing that what men apparently sometimes do through the bottom of a...
Oh, really?
Of a popcorn tub in a cinema. It's never happened to me.
Salty or sweet?
It's never happened to... Well, never mind their nicknames. They're just people I go with. And what was I talking about? Yeah, so she ate like that, the girlfriend. She just had food. But she was, she was pregnant. I've always thought if you're pregnant, all bets are off. Certainly if you're riding in the Grand National.
That's
He said the pregnancy just happened.
Yeah.
Planned, it just happened.
I imagine that can if you wear very, very loose clothing like he does, I think that could happen. That could happen squeezing past each other in the kitchen.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
No, but the thing is, if I put my sunglasses on my head, I just know it's only a matter of time before I say to someone, have you seen my sunglasses? And I have to face the humiliation of them saying they're on your head. Or maybe if they're people who work for me, they wouldn't even say it. They'd be too...
Yeah. Like when I've rung people and gone, I've lost my phone!
Yeah, that
I
one.
have done that.
I have done that. So I'm leaving the house now. I can't find my phone anywhere. I've said that to people on the phone. Oh, God. Terrible thing.
Frank, we've had an interesting text from Gavin. I got a huge Easter present on Thursday from a firm I have to visit through work. I know what you're thinking, and no, it wasn't a giant Easter egg. In fact, it was a frozen turkey.
Ooh.
Is it traditional to give turkeys at Easter? I'm not complaining, just thought it was a bizarre gift, especially when the firm was in fact a prison. Gavin.
A frozen turkey. This is like a Nancy Drew mystery. Frozen turkey from a prison. I would have a look. I bet there's someone inside that.
Yeah.
That's an escape attempt.
Frank, you're right.
Yeah, because someone will say, I'm not taking on an Easter egg in this heat, but I'll do 24 hours in a frozen turkey if it means freedom. I think we've all said that in our time.
Oh, I've certainly said that.
I did it to get out of a club in Bangkok. Well, that's a mystery. Maybe someone will know the answer to that. But I don't think turkey is
It's traditional. I don't think it is.
I have to say, Emma, the producer's just dropped an absolute bombshell during that record that she's actually been to Trentham Monkey Park. Can you... Forest. Monkey Forest. And we spoke about it, and she never even gave a hint of such a thing. And... yeah, who'd have thought that? And she actually said that the monkeys are not separated from the public. They just walk around, was the phrase she used. I don't think of them as big walkers. Do you?
What do you mean? What, in the cafeteria? Do they queue?
No, but do they walk? I suppose I imagine they take one or two steps from... Maybe, you know, I only see them going from tyre to tyre, or in Trentham Monkey Forest from bough to bough, I imagine.
Frank?
Can I just say my final
can.
thing? She said that and I think that Trentham Monkey Forest could use this as their slogan. She said, when I said, what's it like? She said, there's not much to it. Wouldn't you love that? Trentham Monkey Forest. There's not much to it.
Well, there's a forest and some monkeys. What more do you want?
Yeah, but there's no, I don't understand the restraints. Is the people with tranquilise? I'm turning away from my microphone. I met a radio producer this week who said to me, she said, do you know... Yeah, I know. And one who hadn't been to Trentham, she said to me, do you know, she said, I've worked with presenters who don't even look at the red dot when they're talking.
Oh.
What?
And I
don't even know what that is.
No, I said that. I said, I don't know what the red dot is. And she said, well, there's a red dot, you know, on the microphone that you have to look at when you're talking to make sure you're talking down. Is there?
Oh, dear.
This worries me that the only person I've ever spoke to with complete clarity is Indira Gandhi. Anyway.
Frank, you know that turkey...
Hold on, do they have knockouts? Do they have people
sorry.
with knockout guns at Trentham Monkey?
No.
They don't? Well, that's a bit worrying, isn't it?
No, I don't believe her. She said it in a really... No.
Anyway, I think we should go there. Let's go there.
No.
No, I don't want them to have the knockout guns.
Frank, you know we're talking
Well,
about...
I'm going. I shall take a large polo mallet.
Will you stop going on about Trentham Monkey Park?
Forest?
I'm sorry.
It's no park. It's no park.
I'm trying to make it sound more picturesque.
Oh, no, it's heavy on the tree front.
A nice email from Andy, Frank. Read Turkey in prison. Was he doing bird? Oh, Andy. Never mind this. Can we please talk about one of my favourite things that happened this week, which was a bit of droppage. Did you see the Real Madrid team with the trophy on top of
the Copa del Rey got dropped?
I loved it. I've watched it
was
so many times.
Oh, it took ages, though, didn't it? Once they dropped it, it took ages for them to get it back. It was underneath the bus.
Why were there paramedics gathering round as well?
In case you don't know, Real Madrid won the sort of Spanish version of the FA Cup this week, and then when they went on the big open-top bus thing, one of them dropped it.
Was it a defender, which was brilliant? I wish it had been the keeper.
Yeah, that would have been embarrassing. Yeah, but he dropped it, and it got sort of wedged onto the bus.
Well, it got wedged, and then there was loads of kind of Spanish voices go, "Whoa!" And then they all huddled around in paramedics' jackets to look at the car.
It was because I watched it on the internet, but it was a Spanish commentary on it, you know.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really tell completely what was happening. But obviously, when you see footballers on an open-top thing, the trophy is quite a central prop. Yeah. And once they'd lost it, they started, like, dancing and stuff. It was tragic. And waving, and that was all they could do. It made me think that maybe Kate and William should have some sort of trophy with them in the coach. It makes a big difference. Gives you some...
William's got his wife.
Oh. Bit hard.
It's gone rather nasty. It's gone a bit Gossip magazine.
Yeah, yes.
Frank, I liked it when... I think
working with Dorothy Parker.
I liked it when... I think the defender is Sergio Ramos.
Oh, yeah, Ramos, yeah.
He said, the cup has fallen. I thought, no, you dropped it. It didn't fall of its own accord.
Oh, it fell.
It's a great quote, though. The cup has fallen.
The cup has fallen.
I went to the... England's cricket team won the Ashes in 2005, which, if you're not interested in cricket, is a big deal. And they went on an open-top coach thing, and they were all so... I don't think this is controversial. They were very drunk. It looked like there'd been an alien abduction, had ripped the top off the night bus. and shone in a bright light, because it was daylight, but everyone on there, it just looked like, God, I wouldn't want to be on that thing. And this looked not like that. This looked like everyone was being lovely and nice. And then it was great. Footballers looking over the edge to see where it had gone was such a sweet image.
I loved it. But it's that horrible moment as well when you drop something, like food, that's bad. When you drop a piece of food and you just think, it feels like it goes on forever.
Well, you say it's bad, but, you know, I've worked in this business now for some 20 years.
Yeah.
No, 25 nearly. And I've had a few moments, a few highs, you know. I've had great live gigs, TV. I mean, you know, it's gone all right. And there's been some real peaks. But I don't think I've ever had as loud a cheer and applause as when I dropped my tray in the dinner hall at Albury Technical School in about 1971. And it was always the case. If somebody dropped their tray, the whole place rose up.
Well, what about when I dropped a tea...
Oh, steady. Oh, OK.
What about when I dropped a tea service? I was staying with the chairman of BP, and I dropped his tea service. We were at his country house, Cucumber Hall.
How old were you at this point?
I was about 9. I dropped the entire service.
Oh, God, how did he take it?
He was very charming about
I imagine it was a bit oily on the handles.
Yeah, it's slippery.
That's what puts me off the BP chairman's mansion, that it's very on every surface. Oh, no. Oily. Well, look, what about that for a texting? What's the worst thing you've ever dropped?
No trousers or anything.
No, not that. Although I did do that. I did drop my trousers in front of Kenny Ball and his jazzmen. But that's not the kind of anecdotes we have on this show, thank God.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
That was Pure by Lightning Seeds.
Never mind Pure. You were talking about Fred Quimby.
Isn't that your family motto?
Yeah, very much so. It's above my bed. You were talking about Fred Quimby. Do you remember that, Frank?
Yes,
and
of course.
Information.
The producer of
Tom and Jerry. Yeah. Well, we've had a text in from Rob who says, Dear Frank, are you aware of a Royal Naval tradition when we used to watch Tom and Jerry films at sea? When Fred Quimby's credit appeared, as one, we would all cheer and shout, "Good old Fred." This happened on every ship in the fleet.
Did he?
Yeah. Extraordinary.
Well, you have to make your own fun at sea, don't you?
Yeah. How marvellous. Well, it's a step up from making them walk the plank, I suppose. And grog. Do they still have grog?
I wouldn't know. It's a long while since I've been to see the boys on the ship.
Yeah. But that's great, though. Good old Fred. The next time I watch a Tom and Jerry, I'm going to shout "Good old Fred" when sometimes it's not Fred Quimby.
Yeah.
And when it's not Fred Quimby, it tends to be... you know those ones when...
Don't
Jerry...
say "Good old Fred" when you're watching a show about serial killers.
No, don't do that. But if it's not Fred Quimby, it can be those modern Tom and Jerry's when... You know when, like, Jerry talks, he sort of talks.
I hate it.
Oh, man. That's so bad.
We were talking about worst things we'd ever dropped. Emily, you have to hold the world record for dropping names. That's from 131.
That's what Russell Crowe said to me. Alex in Plymouth, I dropped some meat from a grill once. As I went to pick it up, the grease on the grill spat up and set my hair on fire.
Oh, God, is it Alex Ferguson? Set his whole face on fire by the looks of things. That's terrible.
I think the worst thing I dropped was or a bad thing to drop, a teapot lid. Just the lid of a teapot.
What was the teapot made of?
China.
Oh, so did it shatter?
Yes. And
then
but
what
then
do you
you've
do?
just got the
what do you
teapot
do with the
without a lid.
teapot? What about those little... You know those little shower caps you put on homemade jam?
Do you think that would work?
You know, yeah, you get a bit of gingham, an elastic band, and that would... I think that would be all right.
I'll just write that down.
You could reinforce it with a cosy. If you're worried. I don't mean the woman that Cheryl Cole sent home. Oh no, that wasn't. That was. I'm thinking of the Big Brother one with the enormous. That was.
Oh, I thought you meant Sophie Amagbockpoo. That's another story.
No. That's
put that behind us.
No,
that's yeah. Who remembers that now? The national treasure fighting in a public lavatory
With Sophie Amagbockpoo. I do. Frank, recently on the show, you were talking about awkward silences. Do you recall?
Yes.
Oh, I love it. I love it when life imitates art.
Well, we've had an email in about that. Dear Frank, Emily and Gareth, I'm an expat living in Thailand and they have the perfect solution to awkward silences here. When you stop and talk to someone, as soon as you said what needs to be said, you just walk off. There's no need for a goodbye or a closing statement. It's the same on the phone. You might get...
Yeah, I think that's something to do with the people who one might speak to in Thailand, isn't it? What he's talking about is you don't have a cigarette afterwards.
Oh, I see what you mean. It's the same on the phone. You might get, hi, what time does the film start? 8 p.m. What time should we meet? 7:50. Boo. Which, do you know what, Frank? I love the idea of this because I find signing off phone conversations, you know, saying the goodbye and stuff, really stressful. Because I'm quite an OTT theatrical person, I'm sure you'll all agree.
Yeah.
And I say, love you lots. To a lot of people.
Do you?
But that's another story.
Yeah.
But no, I'll say... So, for example, I said it the other day to my solicitor by mistake.
Oh, no, you don't want to say love you lots to your solicitor.
I said, OK, bye, love you lots. Oh, how mortifying.
God, I bet that's the sort of thing married actor probably says to his solicitor.
And I don't like it when people as well, when they're signing off and they go, oh, well, look, I'll let you go. You're probably busy, so I'll let you get off. And I think that's them. They don't want to take responsibility because they're actually wrapping up the conversation.
Yeah.
How
No,
do you
conversation is a bit like a game of chicken, isn't it? Where you have to... I sometimes say, I'll see you later, to complete strangers.
Oh, you
Just
won't
people
see.
who I will never see.
No,
I
that's
might
true.
never see
I
again.
think I fall into that as well. I think conversation's like a plate of chicken.
How do you sign off, Frank?
Well, I used to... For the first 30 years of my life, it was never, ever anything other than Terarbit. I mean, that was all I ever said. And my brother still says that, and I still think you see take it that I say I'll see it, then you go Terarbit, and I've stopped. If I do it now, I'm doing it, you know, self-consciously.
Yeah.
Teraro bit.
By the way, I just bumped into Sean Allen Moy in the hallway, and he was wearing denim shorts.
He was not.
But not cut off. I'm talking about the small turn-up.
Really?
Yeah, I'm talking about not Tom Sawyer, but sort of. If you can imagine Tom Sawyer had been picked up by Simon Cowell and smartened up a bit. So a denim cut off.
Tom Sawyer meets Pride, or what sort of thing are we talking?
Yeah, I thought you meant like the girl from the Dukes of Hazzard. Those sorts of denim shorts.
Yeah, well, they're not that short.
Right.
Yeah, imagine if she went to a Muslim country on holiday.
Yeah.
It was those kind of
Being
things.
respectful.
He carries it off well, but just when you hear him all professional on the news, I just want you to think of those shorts. I know I will.
I'm going to investigate imminently.
Yeah, my other thing is that... well, I'll tell you, I met Charlie Cray. Who's
Stop
the
name
sort of-
dropping.
Yeah, he's the sort of... He's the lesser of the Cray twins.
Yeah.
And it's a bit like meeting Ringo. And he did a thing where when he said goodbye to me, he put the tips of his fingers and thumbs together, kissed them, and then sort of waved his hand at me as if he was throwing love at me. I was sprayed with love by Charlie Cray.
Charlie Cray went a bit Liberace on you.
Yeah, I was sprayed with love by Charlie Cray. It would be not a bad album track. Not a single. I don't think I'll bring it out as a single, but maybe about track 7.
Or a
You know,
kiss
when-
and tell story.
Yeah. Well, maybe not tell, as it was Charlie Cray. Yeah.
Can I
Kiss
ask
and
you
keep it to
something,
yourself.
Frank? Ben Jones has got a baseball cap.
He always wears a baseball
Yeah,
cap.
I know. That's hardly breaking news, Sean Allen Moy. You can calm down. But he's also got a big sort of motorbike helmet thing. So does he wear the cap underneath like the Nigella Burkini? Does he have it over the helmet, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I hope he wears it on top of the helmet.
Yes.
That'd look brilliant. That'd be like someone from the carnival. No, I'm assuming that he has a dispensation, not unlike the Sikhs.
Oh.
You know, the Sikhs don't have to wear helmets because they've got the turbans. Yeah.
It'd be a very quick changeover. You know, when they do the cup trick with the cup and ball helmet hat.
Oh, look, can I
he's
say that
modelling
Ben
it.
Jones now next door has gone model, and
Yeah.
yeah, it does look like, you know, when you see mascots from American baseball, the enormous head with the baseball on top. I'm sure this is very entertaining
Yes.
for those of you who can't see. If we could get a cam thingy in there,
Yeah,
what's
webcam
it called?
thing.
These, I keep calling them camcorders.
Webcam.
Webcam. Thank you very much.
I have.
for that.
I've adjusted the webcam so it's on Emily as well.
Have you?
People are getting
Oh,
very
hang on.
distressed.
You don't pander to those
Very
sordid
straight.
texts. I've told you that before.
Oh, Gareth, do pander to those sordid texts.
Have you been to a Trenton Panda Forest? By the way, there's only one in there, and it died in 1978. But still,
You can still see it.
yeah, there's still
Make
more
out.
to it than there is to Trenton Monkey. I've got to go there now. I'm sure there must be some sort of golden pass you can get in. If I go in there, I want my own knockout darts. And that's for me, not for them.
Frank on
Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
131 says, anyone with a significant lip hair could sign off mustache.
Now that would be good. That would be if Willie Thorne's listening to this show, I bet he's thinking I'm having that. I'm having that. Can I say, having been on the dole for 3.5 years at one time, that the phrase "signing off" every time you say it still brings a terrible shiver down my spine.
Right.
No, it's good news. It was signing off meant you'd got a job, which was terrible. Couldn't get any worse.
Can we talk about the burkini, please, before we go?
I might go to Capital Radio after with one of those little lasers and sign it on the tin, and they'll think red dot. I have to speak straight into that, and they could do the whole show like this. Welcome to Capital Radio. I could ruin the whole station. Too late. They've already done it.
That's why a DJ always notices if he's about to be assassinated.
Yeah.
True.
Good point. Sorry, what?
Yeah, I've been a bit obsessed by... Did you see those pictures of Nigella Lawson this week on the beach?
Oh, God, they were in every newspaper.
They were everywhere.
In
Burkini Watch.
Yeah, in the burkini.
The burkini. So are you familiar with this garment, Gareth?
I had never seen one of those before, no.
What, a woman?
Well, is it a woman? Is it Nigella Lawson? It's hard to tell.
Well, exactly. But what's interesting is there's a sort of visor underneath the hood of the burkini.
Yeah, I think she does quite a lot of welding. I don't know if you're aware of that. She did. The chassis went on my Lamborghini, and I took it round their place, and it was nice. She did that, and she did a lovely fried onions and egg thing as well at the same time. She did on the radiator. She's multi-talented.
But quite seriously, looking at it, I did think, oh, that looks very liberating.
Did you?
I have to be honest.
No, if that was a Muslim woman wearing it, you'd think, oh, God, how oppressive.
Well, no, you know why I found it liberating? Because the bikini hideousness...
Yeah.
Is...
Bikini Hideousness, what a band they were. The second album was good, though.
No, but Frank, the preparation involved. There's the waxing. There's the exfoliating. There's the...
I'll be all right in a minute.
There's the pre-tan.
Pre-tan.
Yeah, just to give yourself a light coverage, a light smattering. There's the choice of bikini. Will you go high cut?
Yeah, or crocheted, 1960s. Yeah, I agree with that. Well, I quite like the coconut halves on strings. I never see that anymore. They're never quite sure what to do with the bottom, are they? Because,
Terrible strap marks.
Yeah. Well, it's worth it, I think. I wouldn't dare risk one in Trenton Monkey Forest. They'd be torn to pieces. No, the burkini, it reminded me very much of... I was in Eastbourne in 1974, and I saw a man lying on the beach, fully stretched out, as one would when sunbathing, in a flared three-piece pinstripe suit, a broad tie and a shirt, just lying there like that. And I thought, has this man fallen out of a disco-themed helicopter? Didn't make any sense. Like he was trying to get his suit tanned.
Oh, suits on the beach. I don't like that at all.
No. I quite like it because I don't like getting undressed at the beach. I don't like shorts even. I don't like wearing shorts generally in the summer.
No, I think that's a good one.
You haven't got a bad pair of pins, have you?
I don't think I've ever seen Gareth's legs, and I'd quite like to keep it that way.
No, yeah. Well, I'm going to try. I also think it's sort of an item of clothing based purely on a pun.
Burkini,
which I like.
But I don't know if that's the official. Like mankini was not as close to it.
Oh, Frank, don't wear one of those.
There was a man in a mankini.
You in a mankini.
You know, in the background they've started doing on Britain's Got Talent now. There's a lot more shots of people in the big waiting room for the auditions. And there was someone talking, I think in the background, I think there was a man someone in a curly wig and a mankini talking to a Michael Jackson looking like. It looked like the waiting room for hell. What gets me, I don't want to be unkind, but Nigella, I thought, had prided herself on being a bigger woman, a big, voluptuous woman, and I thought she was proud of that. So why is she covering up? She seems... There's so many... Like, Fern Britton was another example of a woman who places herself as the real woman, who doesn't care about dieting, who wants to be herself and be natural and represent what womanness is all about. And then she has the gastric, and Nigella's covering up now on the beach. It's like they'll talk the talk, but they won't waddle the waddle.
No, I know, but Frank, you could argue that the burkini was for practical reasons as well. She's got lovely pale skin. She's certainly not going to get sunburnt, is she? That way.
Also, there's a slight cross-cultural. Does this mean it's all right for me to wear one of those white turbans with the jewel, like our man Flint wore? Maybe with a hint of plumage.
It's not just all right, it's mandatory now.
OK. Well, I look forward to that in the papers. Frank Skinner seen leaving Rainforest Cafe in curly-toe slippers.
Frank, 131, maybe the man on the beach needed his suit washed and was waiting for the tide. Thank you.
I think we'll end on that. Oh, marvellous. Well, look, you can download Not the Weekend podcast from Wednesday onwards. That's a separate thing that we do, which is nothing to do with this show. It's available only online. And, well, if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back next week with a brand new show.
We only have this extra.
This is Frank Skinner.
Absolute